everyone. It is me, Miss Smith. Happy Thursday. I hope your day is going well. We're going to jump in today with a quick little warm-up. So, take a minute, look at this 100s chart. Okay. Our warm-up today is I want you to think about what patterns do you notice. So remember, a pattern is like something that's repeating itself or something that starts over. What patterns do you notice about this hundreds chart? Okay, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to think. All right, so quiet think time for 30 seconds. I'm going to pause the video. Now that you've had 30 seconds of think time, I want you to turn and tell your partner, okay, what patterns do you notice about this chart? So turn and talk. Each partner should have at least some time to talk. So make sure you're giving each other a fair share of the talking time. Turn and talk. What patterns did you notice? And remember, if you notice something that your partner also noticed, you can show them that I agree by showing the I agree sign. And you can always build on to what they are thinking. So take 1 minute, turn and talk with your partner. What patterns do you notice? You can pause the video. All right, I hope you guys came up with some really good patterns. I also hope you've had time to share out to Miss Jazz and to the group. So if you have not, please pause the video and take a minute to share out as well. All right, I hope your ideas were shared and you were able to share your thinking. So here's some patterns that I want you to notice. When you look at a hundreds chart, if everybody can see my mouse, follow my mouse. Let's see, we're going to try to go, I'm going to try to draw on this computer. We'll see how it works. So when you go from left and you go to the right, what are we counting by? Right, from here to here, it's plus what? Plus 1, right? From 2 to 3, it's plus 1. 3 to 4 plus, 4 to 5 plus, exactly. So when you're moving this way on your hundreds chart, you are adding 1. It's like you're skip counting by ones. Okay? Once you get to 10, once you get to the 10, you have to drop down to the next row and go back to the beginning to keep counting. You get to 11, right? And then from 11 to 12, it's plus how much? Plus 1, right? 12 to 13 plus 1. Because remember, if we're moving this way on the chart, we're adding 1. Now, here's my question. What if we go backwards? What if we started here at 6 and went back to 5? Is that adding or subtracting? Yeah, we're subtracting. We're going back, and from 6 to 5, we went back 1. Right? From 5 to 4, we went back 1. So it's like minus 1. From 4 to 3, it's minus 1. 3 to 2, it's minus 1. 2 to 1, it's minus 1. Right? So when you're moving side to side on on this hundreds chart, it is like you are adding and subtracting 1. So there's one pattern that if you notice that was great. That was a pattern I wanted you to notice. Now, some of you definitely saw this column over here, this column, and I'm sure you noticed it was counting by tens. So 10, 20, 30, 40. So when we are going down on a place value chart, when we are going from this to here, we're adding how much? Yeah, it's like we're adding 10, right? From 20 to 30, it's plus a 10. 30 to 40, it's plus 10. 40 to 50, it's plus 10. Yep, 50 to 60, it's plus 10. 60 to 70, plus 10, etc., all the way down. So on a 100s chart, when you are moving down a column, it is like you are adding 10 every time. Now, it's pretty easy to see with, my drawing. It's pretty easy to see in this column with the 10s, 20, 30, 40. That's pretty easy. We're just skip counting by 10s. But let's look at this column that starts with 4 at the top. Right? Take a minute. What number is the same every single time? Tell me on the count of 3. What number is the same every single time? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, the 4 does not change. Every single time when we're going down, the 4 does not change at all. Right? What place value is the 4 in? Is it in the 1s or the 10s? Yes, the 4 is in the 1s place. Right? And that's not changing, and that makes sense because when we go up or down on a place value chart, we're changing by tens. We're not changing the ones. That's why the ones stay the same every time. But you know what does change? The tens place. Yeah, right? We had 0 tens right here. Then we had 1 10. Good. Then we had 2 tens. Then we had 3 tens. Then 4 tens. Right? So when we move up and down on a hundreds chart, we are either adding 10 or if we go up, we are subtracting 10 each time. This is how you should be reading a hundreds chart. Okay? It really helps us see the pattern of numbers and what we're adding or taking away. Whether we're adding a 1 when we go forward, taking away a 1 when we go back, or if we're skip counting and adding a 10 when we go down, or if we're subtracting a 10 when we go up. Okay? I hope you guys caught some of these patterns, okay? Because we're going to be looking at this in the future. So it's a really good skill to have. Alright, let's move on to the focus part of the lesson today. Alright, I'm just going to give you a quick refresher. A quick what? Refresher of how to use our strategy, adding like units. What is our strategy? Exactly. We are going to add like units. And we know that our units are those hundreds, tens, and ones. Okay. Today we are going to change it up just a little bit. We're going to throw in some hundreds. So before we weren't using hundreds. Today we are. Okay. On the count of 3, I want everybody to read me this number sentence. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Great job. 137 plus 16 equals blank. This is the problem we are solving today, and the strategy we're going to use is adding like units. So just like before, we can start by decomposing these numbers. By doing what? Decomposing the numbers. We're going to break down the numbers into its units. The first number, the first addend, is 137. Now I've broken this number into 3 parts. Can somebody raise your hand and tell me, why does this number have 3 parts and why does this one only have 2? Raise your hand and tell Miss Jazz. Why does this number have 3? Why does this number have 2? Great job. Yes, this number 137 has 3 parts because it's made up of 3 different units. And tell me, what are those 3 units? Yes, good job. They are the hundreds, tens, and ones. Whereas 16, it only has 2 units. It only has the tens and the ones. Oh, let's focus this back up. Sorry, friends. All right, here we go. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit in case you guys are having a hard time seeing. Okay, so let's go ahead and decompose this number, right? Every digit in a number we know stands for something. This 1 is 100. This 3 is 3 tens. This 7 is 7 ones. You're going to help me out and tell me the value of each digit. So this 1, we know it's 100. What is the value of 100? Good, right? If we have 100 and we count by hundreds, it's 100. So this 1 is 100, right? On the count of 3, what is the value of this 3? We know it's 3 tens. I want you to tell me the value of 3 tens. What is 3 tens worth? 1, 2, 3. Great job, great job. It is 30. If we have 3 tens, we know we have 3 tens because this 3 is in the tens place. We know we have to count by tens. 10, 20, 30. And last but not least, what is the value on the count of 3? What is the value of this 7? We know it's 7 ones, right? And if you forget, you can always break up your number like this. It helps me remember too into a little HTO chart. This 7 ones on the count of 3. Oh, 7 ones is worth 1, 2, 3, 7. Very good. All right, so we have decomposed 137. This is a skill you should be getting really strong at. Okay. Now let's go ahead and decompose 16. Okay. We know this 1. Is this 100 or 110? It is 110. Remember, there's only hundreds if there's 3 digits. This one only has 2. So we know this is the tens place, this is the ones. So 110 is worth 1, 2, 3, 10. Good. Right? That one's a little tricky. If we just have 110, We have to count by 10, so ready? 10. So it's just worth 10. What are these 6 ones worth on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. The 6 ones is worth 6. Very good. Alright, and just like yesterday and just like Monday, all we're going to do, friends, we're just going to combine our like units. We're going to put the hundreds with the hundreds, the tens with the tens, and the ones with the ones. Okay, let's start with those hundreds. I'm going to put an H, which stands for hundreds. We knew over here we had 100 plus, were there any hundreds over here? No, good job. There were no hundreds, and what number means nothing? Great job, 0, okay? And what is 100 plus 0? Good job, so 100, okay? Let's move to adding our like units of the tens. Let's go to move to add our tens. In 137, we had 3 tens, which was worth 30, very good. In 16, we had 1 10, which was worth 10. So the value of all of our tens in both of these numbers is 30 plus 10. 30 plus 10 is 40. Very good. Right? We know if we have 3 tens and 1 10, 3 tens plus 1 10 is 1, 2, 3, 4 tens, and 4 tens is worth 40. Alright, last but not least, let's go ahead and add those ones up. Okay, I know some of you are very eager to answer. Please make sure you're giving everybody else a chance to think, and you're only responding when I ask you to respond. Okay, we want to make sure everybody has a chance to get their thoughts straight in their head. Okay, so now let's add the ones from both numbers. How many ones were in 137? 1, 2, 3, 7. 7 ones, good. So we're going to put 7 plus, and on the count of 3, how many ones were in 16? 1, 2, 3. Good job, there were 6 ones. Okay. 30 seconds to yourself. I'm going to ask you to tell me what is 7 plus 6 on the count of 3. Take 30 seconds, figure that out. You guys have been working on reflex, so these math facts should be very quick for you. Okay, what is the answer on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. Great job, friends. 13. 13. Okay, and just like we did yesterday, now that we have all the hundreds added up, all the tens, and all the ones, we're just going to put those back together to find our answer, to find our sum. Okay, we're going to make it look kind of like a little number bond, right? Because here are our parts. We want to put it back into the total. All right, 100 plus 40 is 140. Now this is a little tricky because it's not just some ones. We have 10 and some ones. So we can use our mental math strategy and add that 10 first and then go back and add the ones. We already know we have 150. What's 150 plus one more 10? Good job. 140 plus one more 10 is 150. And that if we add those other 3, it's 153. So our answer today to our problem is 153. Okay, and we solve this using the adding like units strategy. Now, thank you guys for paying such close attention, right? The more you pay attention when I do these little reminders, the better you're going to do on your problem set, okay? I do want to show you one other way that might make sense to a lot of you, and you might even like it better than this way. So it's still the same strategy. We're still going to add like units, but we're going to do it differently. We're not going to write a number sentence, so let me show you. Okay, I'm going to zoom out. Alright, so we're going to use the same equation, that same equation, 137 plus 16. And we're going to see if we get the same answer, but we're going to use a little bit of a different method. We're still going to decompose our numbers. What are we going to do? Decompose our numbers, right? We know 137 has hundreds, tens, and ones, so we'll pull out that 100, we'll pull out the tens, and we'll pull out the ones. We know 16 has tens and ones. We'll pull out the 10 and pull out the ones. And now this time, instead of adding all the hundreds with an equation, adding all the tens with an equation, and adding all the ones with an equation, we're going to use arrows. So first, let's start with those hundreds, right? Were there hundreds in both numbers? No. Which one was the number that had the hundreds? Good. 137 had 100. So we're going to bring that down. There's nothing to add it to, so we're just going to bring it down here. Okay. Next, we need to add what unit? Good. We need to add our tens. So in this number, we had 3 tens, which was 30. This number, we had 1 10, which was 10. So we want to add this 30 and 10 together. Watch what I do. I'm going to draw a line from the 30 and the 10, like bringing them together, kind of like pulling them together. And I'm going to use my mental math to add. 30 plus 10 is 40. Right, so far we're getting the same answers as before. And then last but not least, we need to add what unit? The ones. Very good. So we had 7 ones here, 6 ones here. When we, just like last time, we're going to kind of like pull them together. We're going to pull this 7, we're going to pull this 6 together. And we know from our reflex, from our fluency practice, that 7 plus 6 is 13. And now look. We have the same 3 parts. This 100 is here, this 40 is here, and this 13 is right here. Right? So now we can just throw a plus sign. Oh, my pencil. We can just throw a plus sign in between these numbers and find our solution. Just like last time, we know 100 plus 40 is 140. 140 plus a 10, if we're skip counting by tens, 140, 150. And if we add 3 more ones, that is 153. And if you check it out, we got the same solution. We got the same sum as last time. This example, we just used arrows to help organize our thinking and add the like units. And do what? Add the like units. Alright friends, thank you for following along. I know that was 2 examples in one, so thank you for paying close attention. Ms. Jazz, please leave this up in case any student wants to use it as a reference. Okay. You also have your anchor chart on the whiteboard. Your anchor chart is also going to explain the steps to you. If you were somebody who used place value blocks yesterday to help you see the units, that is fine. Okay. Friends, not everybody needs to use place value blocks. Alright, if you don't need to use them, don't use them. But you are more than welcome to use them. Okay. For today's work, you are going to practice this strategy by yourself. Okay. Your problem set is page 13, 14, and you have a word problem on page 15. Kind of like what you did yesterday. You had 2 pages of work and then a word problem. I want to bring your attention to a lot of these examples do just have tens and ones, but once you get to the back, you're going to have some hundreds, okay? So pay close attention, look at what I did, look at what we did together just now, and use that to help you, okay? Good luck, you guys are going to do great, okay? Once you have finished both pages and Ms. Jazz says it's okay, go ahead and pass one iReady lesson, and then you may do an early finisher, okay? Thank you guys for listening. I miss you so much. I can't wait to see you on Monday when I get back. Okay, keep working hard, and just remember, I'm looking at your progress online, on Reflex, on iReady. I'm looking at your exit tickets as you turn them in. Ms. Jazz and I are talking. Okay, so keep being your great selves, and I will see you soon.